And in any ways, so I came up with a novel idea. I like pair programming. Pair programming sort of like works. I've seen it. So what was interesting is what we did with these people, the people that need to grow and the people that need to spread their knowledge, is we basically disabled their machines. We took their machines away and said, you have to pair up. You're virtually sick now for the next 4 weeks. You have to pair up with people, and if you have to do anything productive in that organization, you have to do it through people around you. Obviously swapping keyboards as they go along. And this one developer turned around and said, yeah, but if you guys do that, then all my scripts that I keep production alive with is going to be switched off. But it's sort of a situation that we're trying to avoid here. So yeah. The one thing that we did in Gmail, they're a very dynamic environment. We just try to encourage them to do pair programming and not discourage ownership. So they try to share code as much as possible. And in doing that, also the lesser experienced engineers got built up. So there was a lot of things mentioned around legacy code and so forth throughout the conference so far. And I think one of the biggest challenges I've personally faced in my career so far was dealing with legacy code. As Michael Feathers put it, it's like code that's not under test. I think it's in my database version. That's what someone told me. And so the question is, how do you get the code under test so we can start using that as a basis for refactoring? Now, if you have a legacy code base, like what we had dealt with it, it's a bit hard. If the code doesn't lend itself to test-driven development or characterization tests or something like that, it's hard. So what do you do? Code doesn't really compile, it's that other legacy. What do you do? So, well, one thing we can do is automate deployments. So we start doing that, we automate deployments. What's the other things we can do? Well, we can't automate the units in the code base, but we can definitely start automating the acceptance tests within the code base. Start using that as a basis to actually document some behavior and start getting rid of that technical debt. Standard we sort of thought, well, let's take this Michael Feathers book and apply it. We sort of like, let's launch a project to fix the code base. And we started doing that, and it was a complete, utter failure. Technically we were sound, but culturally we failed. And we realized that changing legacy code, as Mr. Powell put it earlier, is 95% of your energy is cultural. 5% is the technical stuff that you actually do with the code. And we're starting to succeed with that at one level now, where we apply the voice couple and systemically refactoring the code base. And the more agile your code base becomes, the more agile you can become as an organization. So the more frequently you can roll out, the less fear you have of rollouts. Basically, everything in these all bureaucratic processes have been driven from fear and break down. So let's talk about some values and benefits. I'm sort of going to be on time. Was that -5 minutes?
No, I've already turned to 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's going to be good. So just some general things. And they were able to identify unplanned work. They were able to adopt it. They were able to adjust to changing company conditions. They were minimizing the work in progress and therefore improving cycle times. And the funny thing is, they were using the metrics that the team was generating to start leveraging change in the rest of the organization. The funny thing is they were trying to leverage the product owners, and they ended up changing the whole organization but the product owners, which is interesting. But nonetheless, now the entire organization is changing at least. Standard Bank, a notoriously big bang organization. Typical releases is quarterly. If you manage to make that release, some pieces of the organization, it's yearly. One of the largest pieces of the business missed the release last year. That's every 2 years then. So, notoriously big bang organization. I hate the word like waterfall. I actually like waterfall because if you read the paper, there's some cool stuff in it. Big bang is the problem, not waterfall. So you're either agile or you're big bang. Just side note. But we can have some debates about that. So this team is releasing 2 to 8 weeks. So they're more agile than what they worked with before. The mission-critical part of their system had one production bug in a year, and it took them 4 hours to fix it. They missed one test. Oops. Let's add the test. Okay, we're back up and running. And as a result, they have exceptionally good cost forecasting capability. They're able to get it now much cleaner than what it was previously, because they have empirical data to project it, which is cool. And then also they're able to do minimal solutions. So the one instance, they initially thought it was going to be an 8-week piece of work. They're able to deliver it in 2 days because they were able to get rid of everything and just hone in on the value. But because they were doing one thing at a time, they were able to focus. Something you can't do when you're trying to deliver 40 reports at once. So, G may have been interesting. For a year, that's zero velocity, zero stuff in production. And they said, yeah, but we've done so much code. I said, but you've not delivered any value. So 0 for a year, actually 2 years, but let's say a year. And then 4 months ago, we started getting stuff out, and we've subsequently 5 times improved the velocity. One of those was by taking more junior guys out and giving them more cross-functional pieces of work. And they dropped their defects from 20 to 1. It's cool. Funny thing is, they didn't measure architectural impact, architectural change, excuse me. Where they dropped an RPMS, they went for a document database, they deleted 50% of the code base. Don't everyone go and implement NoSQL now, please. They did that, it was the right call for them. Deleted 50% of the code base, they had a bunch of tests, they ran their tests, they saw, the code base is still solid, and they can continue with their lives. That's the value of tests, that's the value of having an agile code base to support you. Now, it costs them half the amount of money to release a feature than release. You have to do a linear calculation. Then, one law, basically delivered. These numbers are still under discussion. It's either 9 months of work in 6 months, or it's 14 months of work in 7 months, depends on who you talk to. And with 90% of the staff. So that's nearly a double velocity improvement. It's by minimizing the work in progress, it's by doing one thing at a time, and focusing on the value that you deliver. Getting things done. Defects drop from about 10 to 20 to less than 5 a week. IT is now waiting for business, and the teams, what's cool is the teams are reporting that they have time to look at innovating. This is an entrepreneurial organization. So they have time to actually look and explore innovation for the first time in their working careers. So that's cool. The guy came to me all bright and bushy out and said, I'm playing with MongoDB, it's so cool. So, dramatic drop in defects. I didn't mention Affitech there because I don't want to take credit for stuff where it's not due. They focused on the essential needs and getting the problem solved by doing as little as possible. It sounds weird, but once you get that done, once you get that in your product owners and your clients' heads, that switch flipped, then you're going to start delivering exceptional. Cycle times improved. That's close to the previous one. And deep issues were addressed in retrospectives. Now, I was listening to as I'm talking, and I realized how much I've learned about the cultural differences within our country facilitating retrospectives. I mean, there's so many nuances, and they come through in the retrospectives where people don't really understand each other. And sometimes there's some very hard conversations that have to happen in these retros, and you have to create an environment where that can happen. Because as a result, people can turn around now and say that we are a better team than what we were. We've got more spirit, and we're not walking around on eggshells when we're trying to solve the problem. It is us and the problem. It's not me against you and them is the problem. So retrospectives are great. And also using leverage to metrics to leverage organizational change. And I think this ties into some of the pro tips for me, which is clean up your house first. And this to me is a sort of a unique point, where I always tell people, they say, but business doesn't buy into what we're doing, the C-level executives doesn't buy into what we're doing, the product owners don't buy into what we're doing, the team sitting next to us doesn't buy into what we're doing. So that's all good. Clean up your own house first. Do whatever you can in your power to fix the things in your team first, and make the improvements visible. And then start making the problems in the rest of the organization visible. And use that as leverage to move forward. So that you can get these big organizations, these big enterprises to change, where the CEO of Affitech turns around and says, we need to become more agile as an organization. And we understand now how to do that. Going a bit beyond the buzzwords. One of the facilitators of that is also having a retrospectives of retrospectives. I thought it was quite a new thing, and then I Googled it and I realized it's not. It sucks. One day I'll come up with something. What's good about retrospectives or retrospectives, what we do is we involve service management, we involve the infrastructure teams, we involve basically everyone that we can in IT, and we try and involve business people as well. And we talk about the retrospectives of each and every single team out. We talk about the problems that they faced. And you know what's the first issues to go out the door? The first problems that get resolved is the us and them between infrastructure operations and the development teams. Those issues are out within a week of doing the retrospectives of retrospectives. The second thing to go is start going is hardware problems, network problems, internet problems. Because people can start seeing metrics that the teams are reporting on those things. Whose dev teams have SSDs in the machines? Just did a rough calculation. If you give a team of 10 an SSD, you gain extra developer a year. Just a rough calculation.